We're going to do some enhanced formatting on these menu items using paragraph styles in InDesign. Paragraph styles are very important. They bring consistency, of course, greater efficiency, absolutely, when it comes to formatting a document, large or small. And it also helps when that document has to go into any digital interface such as ebooks or tablets and so on. So we're going to get into that a little bit, but what we want to do first is get this ready to properly style using the paragraphs. We can see with this that although the tabs have been set, the spacing that we have between paragraphs, remembering that these blue symbols are called pilcrows, they indicate a paragraph. Anything that precedes those is a paragraph. They are being used in this case to create space. So if this content came in from online or from a Word document, often these pilcrows are going to happen just where space was needed to be made between paragraphs. We don't want to do that because if this does go into a digital format, that's going to disappear. The coding will basically deem this paragraph null and void. It'll say there's a paragraph there, but there's no content, and it will get rid of it. So we're going to do that. We're going to get rid of all those spaces, and we're going to code those in as part of our styles. So I'm just going to go through and delete these pilcrows. So this is again part of cleaning our content. And because the tabs have been made, that allows me to know where those paragraphs are, where that content should be divided. So I'm going to go into my first one here. Now this is just an introductory title. So I'm going to highlight this space here and do a shift return or shift enter. And that's going to do a forced line break there. So this is still the same paragraph, but now I've knocked that line down. And I'm going to do it again right about here. Shift return. So this is all one paragraph, but I've gotten rid of that odd line breaks or that really long line. So I can just click into that paragraph. I know that this is a paragraph based on that pilcrow. It's got forced line breaks, that's fine. I just need to be clicked into that paragraph, and when I increase the size of the content, when I set that style, do things, it's going to happen paragraph wide. Now if I change the size like that, it's not going to do anything because I don't have anything selected, and it's only changing something really that's not even existing. So I do have to, in some cases, highlight that content to change that size. So I'm just going to make this a little larger, and I'm going to add some space after. I want to have that space after this paragraph. So I'll go up here to my space after setting. It's even easier, especially if you're on a laptop where you don't see as much, to go to your paragraphs settings, the pilcrow there, and then you have space after over here. And remember, if you hover over that, you'll see the note. So I'm just going to increase that space after there. 0.1875, I'll remember that because I'll probably keep it consistent. So right there, I've created something that if I have other pages in this document, I'm going to make a style of this paragraph. I've set it manually. I don't want to have to do it manually every time. So now that I'm clicked into it, I don't have to have it fully highlighted anymore. I'm clicked into it. I can go over to my paragraph styles. I'm going to open that, go to Window, type in Tables, and down to, Styles, and down to Paragraph Styles, and I'll go to New Paragraph Style. So what it's going to do is, based on what I did, what paragraph it is in, it's going to create a style. And we can see the style settings. We made that 18 point, there we see it, 18 point, and the typeface and all that. So what I want to do, I don't want to make a style and not actually apply it to this. So I want to make sure that I select Apply Style to Selection. And then I'm going to I'll call that my page heading just because I don't really have an actual menu here. I'm going to give it something that where I do continue the menu, I'd know what that's referring to. And then I can say okay, but before I do that, I just want to point out that you can go into the style itself and you can edit all of these things aside from editing them manually. If you use this style repeatedly through a document, it's best to go in and make edits here once you've seen maybe what it looks like, but you know that it's going to carry across, or if you know you need a specific edit and you don't want to do it manually, you just know I have to change some spacing, whatever it may be, double click on the style in your styles panel, go in here and make those adjustments. So you can see there's multiple things that you can adjust, and these are always worth getting to know, but you more so get to know them as you need to do them. So I'll say okay. And then in my styles, there's my page heading. So now if I had something, I've got something down here, I can just click in there. Right now it's set to basic paragraph, which is kind of the default. And I'll go to page heading and you can see that it sets that. So I don't have to do that manually. So now for these items here, the main items in the menu, I'm going to change the styling of that. So I'm just going to make some changes so we can see a little bit of change to it. I'll make it uppercase. I'm going to, I don't know, I'll open that up a bit in the tracking option and my right arrow just a bit. It's not really worthwhile formatting, but I'm doing it just so that we get a little bit of a different style on that. And then I'll go in and new paragraph style, and then apply to selection is selected, and I'll just choose menu item and say okay, and then I can go to each menu item and choose that. Now the one thing that I did, which I shouldn't have done, I'm going to correct that, is I used change case on this, where what I should have done was chosen the actual case here. I should have chosen all caps. So I'm going to do that. This is a good opportunity to see how we can update or change a style. So I can either go in here and I can go into basic characters and I can choose, actually it'll probably be in somewhere in here. May not even be in there. So without looking too hard, I'm just going to cancel that. I'll go here, all caps. You can see that changed it a bit, but it added this little plus sign onto the menu item. That means there's an override. Something was done manually that has not been adopted by that style. And we can see overrides by selecting this here. So see that red highlighting, that's giving me a warning. It's saying, hey, you made a change manually and it's not part of that style. So what I can do is right click on this style and go redefine style. And we should see actually on the next item beneath it, it will adapt that into its styling as well. So redefine style, and you can see it changed there as well. And the plus sign is gone, that override is gone. So now I know I've made that correctly, I've changed that correctly, and now I can just keep going and just click in and click menu item, click in, click menu item, and so on. And that's going to make sure that everything gets styled the same. When I did the change case wasn't adopted, so I had to actually do it formally with that all caps. And then I want to have that spacing again. We did a little bit of spacing up here, so I'm going to go into here and I'm going to go back to my paragraph settings here, do my space after. So remember that little note there so you know which one it is. And we did the same number that we had there. So now I can make this into a style. Over there, new paragraph style, item description, and apply style to selection. Say okay, and then I'll go here and item description. And one good thing with the styles, When you have something that has a lot of formatting, sometimes with books, we get into a chapter, for example, and we're just clicking our way through a book, formatting that. It's great to have these in order of how you're going to be doing them. So I'm going to move in my paragraph styles window there. I'm going to drag and drop these in the order that I kind of work on them. And it just makes things a little more fluid and efficient as you work. So I'll go here and item description, and I'm just adding in that space after. And you can see that space after is coming in and there's no invisible character. That means that if this goes into a digital format, maybe it's exported and it's shown on a website or an iPad or something like that, it's going to format correctly because we're coding in the space there. We're not just making it with returns that would be deemed void of content by that digital space. And I'm thinking we could probably use some space after this line as well. So I'll go back to my space after. I'm going to add a little bit there. And then we again see that override. So I'm going to right click, redefine style, and that should happen through all of them. There we go. So using styles, we've created spacing correctly, but we've also created efficiencies in this document. When we go through and style that document, if it was an entire menu, we get to the point where all we have to do is click in the content, click the style, click the content, click the style, and it reduces all of that work of manual editing.